para hablar de esto, we're going to switch to English now to talk to Christy Braho from CarMd.com, CarMd.com, so to talk about this report. Here we go. So now we're with Christy Braho from CarMd.com. How are you, Christine?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Very interesting, as always, the results of your studies. And I guess a big surprise, maybe for a lot of people, but not for you, since you've been tracking this. So the progress of Hyundai coming up at number one. Was that a surprise for you?
Not really a surprise. It sort of steady wins the race. CarMd tracks the best, most reliable manufacturers and cars every year. This is our third annual report, and Toyota had historically come in ranked number one. We look at the cars that have the lowest repair incidents combined with the lowest average repair costs, and Hyundai has just solidly been in second, and now they've taken over and unseated Toyota as the number one.
Yeah, very, very, very interesting. As you said, I mean, Hyundai has come a long way in the past few years, putting out really good product, and this shows it. And to me, this study is more like the one realistic, because it actually talks about repairs. I mean, cars.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely. There's a lot of reports that come out that look at how pretty the car was, or how well it drove, or what the seat heaters did, and we're looking at realistically how often are you going to have it in the shop, and what's it going to cost, and that's what people care about. CarMd tries to provide information that helps you make good decisions on repairs and ownership, and just overall lower the cost of owning a car.
Yeah, so can we go in detail a little bit about how the study was done? I mean, I know it's tons and tons of data. Can you go a little bit over the numbers, please?
Absolutely. CarMd has a network of technicians across the country, so thousands of technicians that are servicing cars every day. And we basically keep one of the largest databases of check engine-related issues that have ever been compiled. So we're talking hundreds of thousands of repairs each year, and we look at ranking those vehicles in terms of reliability based on not just what it costs, but how often it was in the shop. So we equally weight each of those and come up with the cars that, you are eventually going to have to bring your car in. With the average age of a vehicle being 11 years old, at some point you're going to need repairs and service, and we're just looking at, which of them have the least amount of headaches. So, yes, it's just very interesting data, and there's nobody else who is ranking vehicles the way that we're looking at the data.
So, yeah, in this particular case for this study, I understand that it was over 150,000 repair services that were studied, right?
That is correct, and we look at it from the end of September to early October every year. So we're looking at year-over-year comparisons to kind of even the playing field and make sure that we're presenting the most accurate data.
Yeah. So now let's go over the top 10. So Hyundai came up, and the average cost of a repair in a Hyundai, it's $312 with 67 cents. And then Toyota 500, that's 540 and 53 cents. That's a big difference between 1 and 2 in terms of the cost of the repair. Why is that?
You know what, it really is, and we're looking at all the vehicles. So, every vehicle that comes into the shop, even if it's 10 or 11 years old, so if somebody needs a transmission, or in the case of Toyota, a lot of the older Prius vehicles are starting to need hybrid batteries, and those are very costly repairs. So we actually looked at, if you removed hybrid-related repairs from Toyota, you would actually be looking in the $400 range, like $450 to $470 for repairs on average. So their score is definitely being hurt by their hybrids, but they're still fabulous vehicles that are saving people tons of money, on fuel. So you have to look at the pros and cons.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, so it goes. I mean, we won't go over every manufacturer. The top 10 is Hyundai, Toyota, General Motors, Chrysler, Honda, Ford, Nissan, Kia, Volkswagen, and Mitsubishi. One thing that pops to my attention is that I don't see luxury brands here. Why is that?
Well, we've lumped the luxury brands in with their parents. So, for instance, when you're looking at Toyota, that includes Lexus vehicles and so on and so forth. So we're just looking at the parent manufacturer. We don't dig into the individual brands. We do that with the individual vehicles where we rank the top 100 cars, trucks, SUVs, etc. So we are just more CarMd is the data provider for the average person, so we're just looking at the parent manufacturers and all of the makes and models that they have.
Oh, I see. But is that in the case of the Volkswagen, is that the brand or the group?
That is the group.
Oh, okay, excellent. So, okay, now let's go into the most common problems that people found in their cars. What was it for this year? I guess that doesn't change year to year, right?
Well, it changes a little bit. Years ago, it always used to be the gas cap that would plague people. And as, you've got capless gas tanks and people are getting more savvy with saying, oh, gosh, when that check engine light comes on, it very easily could be something simple. People are getting smarter and being able to diagnose their cars. So it used to be tighten or replace gas cap. Today, the most common repair is an oxygen sensor. If you ignore an oxygen sensor, it can hurt your gas mileage by as much as about 40%. So if you ignore that for the year, you could be putting $700 or $800 worth of extra gas in your car. But we also look at by make, what are some of the more common problems, and different types of vehicles definitely have, problems that plague them. For instance, the Mini has 28% of repairs are related to an oxygen sensor. So that's right in line, obviously more than the U.S. average, but still just very interesting. Whereas a Subaru may need to have a catalytic converter replaced more often. And what that tells us is that Subaru owners are holding on to their cars so long that basically the cars are outlasting the catalytic converter. So again, we put out the facts and let the consumer decide, what does that mean to them in terms of vehicle purchases and repairs and ownership.
Yeah, and you were mentioning the oxygen sensor, and as you were saying, if people let that go for a long time, that ends up being a more costly repair, right?
Right. Anytime you ignore that check engine light, it can snowball into more expensive repairs, whereas it might have been a couple $100 oxygen sensor, it can ultimately become a catalytic converter failure, and those cost well over $1,000 these days. People are actually stealing them. You see it on the news all the time. So, just something we always at CarMd encourage you. Don't be afraid of what that check engine light is telling you. It could be something very, very, very simple. I mean, in some cases, it could be a free gas cap, just tighten it and go. It could be a spark plug that you can replace for $10 from the local auto parts store. We just really want people to use our information to be educated, but not to be afraid.
Yeah. And finally, because unfortunately we're running out of time in this segment, but it's very interesting. We could go on the whole hour to talk about this. But the top-ranked vehicle, the Toyota Camry, came up as number one.
Yeah, this is the third year that a Toyota vehicle has been at number one. The 2012 Toyota Camry ranks as the vehicle with the least amount of problems and the lowest average repair cost. So Toyota's still making phenomenal products, and you can see how your vehicle ranks if you go to carmd.com/scorecard, and you can put in any year, make, and model and see what are the common problems for that car and what letter grade does it get, A, B, C, D, or F. So you can decide what you want to buy next.
Excellent. And you answered my next question, what was going to be where the audience can find out more information about the study. So thank you very much, Christine.
Thank you very much. I always love being on your show.
Thank you very much again, and we'll wait for the next report and first spread the news about this one, and then always being on the look for your next study at CarMd.com.
And and with the holidays coming up, you can also get our product at CarMd.com, and where you can actually diagnose problems on your own car from home. It's a great Christmas present, so I hope that helps.
Excellent. Absolutely, it does. Thank you very much again, Kristen.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Este programa fue una producción de National Latino Broadcasting.